Bleaching furniture? Yes, ma'am. I am not kidding. Perhaps you've got an old piece that looks like this, or maybe like this. Today, I'm going to show you the really easy way to update your furniture so it looks like this. And yes, it is that simple. I'm going to show you the really budget-friendly ways to do it, all the tips and tricks, so you leave this video feeling like, hey, I've got that old piece sitting in my bedroom I've always wanted to redo. Maybe you want to go thrifting? Girl, I got you. And today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Without further ado, let's jump into it. The weathered and natural look is so in right now, and if you're like me and like to find these items on clearance, if you go to any big box store, even if you find a great deal, they're not going to be very well made. They're the type of thing that you touch and it kind of starts shaking. How you know you're getting a really solid piece? That's not going to break. That's not soft close. But if you don't want to spend the big bucks at Pottery Barn, you can go to the thrift store and get something like this and sand it down, and you can get a really modern look. But I wanted to start a little bit smaller for this project.
It is pouring rain, so what better place to come than the thrift store? So what I really like about Habitat for Humanity is they have tons of the pieces online, so I can kind of check to see the things that I'm gonna like versus the things I'm not, and then I can come in store and see if I really love it. And I'm so excited. Everything with a purple tag is an additional 20% off. When I'm looking for pieces to sand or redo, I'm always looking for solid wood. This one is really cool. This dresser could also be a fun one. Sometimes if there's too much ornate detail, it takes a little longer. This table is really fun. This could make a great craft table. All of these pieces here, but this is a particle board top, so it's a no-go. This one here is solid wood, and oak is gonna look really good once you strip this down. Can you hear the rain? It is coming down so hard. I think that just means I have to stay. I'm gonna text Charlie and just tell him, I have to stay in the store. It's raining too hard for me to leave. Look at that. I mean, she is saying, I'm a lot, and I'm okay with that.
This table is perfect to show you this process. You do have to strip your wood of the varnish first, but no, we're not using chemicals. If you're gonna strip, do it right. We are going to get a sander. You can get these for less than $50, and they will work for every project you'll use moving forward. My absolute favorite is this Craftsman sheet sander, and it is a square sander, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why this is the best one to buy. It's also the most affordable. You just take your table, wipe it down, and then you're going to sand off your varnish. This takes about an hour or so, and you're going to do it in layers. To sand properly, you want to start with the heaviest grit sandpaper and work your way up. I started with a 120, then I moved to a 180, and then I did a 220. If I really wanted to, I could have finished with a 320, but I decided that was enough for this project. What's really great about the square sander, and it seems counterintuitive, is that it does a really good job of getting into all of those nooks and crannies. It also gives you a nice even sand without a lot of pressure. It's one of the highest rated ones online. I'll be sure to link it down below. The sandpaper is really easy to change out too. You can get this from the hardware store, and you can buy larger sheets, because the great thing about this sander is it comes with something to poke holes in the sandpaper in case you have a larger sheet you got for a better deal. You can stick it right on, no problem. That varnish is really going to start to come off right around that 180, 220 mark, and then you can kind of see the places that are a little bit splotchy that has some remaining varnish. This square sander is so good for these corner jobs. This piece was fairly intricate, so I let it have some of that rustic left over, a little bit of varnish sitting in the cracks. I actually didn't mind. I thought it looked really cool and gave it a nice weathered look. So true confession, I used to be pretty intimidated by sanding, but if you're somebody who enjoys seeing the vacuum lines appear on a rug, I promise you are going to love this. Just make sure that you're wearing gloves, have goggles on, and do it safely.
So progress is being made. You can see all the stain is gone. And now we're just going through and sanding it a little bit. You can see there's some spots that it's just easier to get manually, and it just takes a little bit of time. There's still a couple of more spots over here that we need to get, and like right here, you can see.
This is a golden oak table. Once I got most of the varnish off, it still had kind of a yellow undertone, and I wanted something a little lighter and a bit more beachy. So here is where the bleach comes in. You can get this just from Walmart. This is your standard bleach that you would use to clean your house. And we are going to paint this onto our piece to help lighten it. Overall, I did 5 coats. The best day to do this is when it's sunny outside, maybe a little bit breezy even. Paint on in nice even coats and make sure there isn't any dripping or any bleach pooling in any spot of your piece. Because it was sunny and pretty warm out this day, we were able to do this quite quickly. And again, 4 to 5 coats for me gives that desired effect for oak furniture with red or orange undertones. After fully drying, you can see how beautiful and weathered this looks, and I decided just to make it a bit more buttery smooth and went over the top one more time with my sander. You can see the bleach is still drying on the spot down below. I let it sit for about 4 to 5 hours, and then I went through with a watered rag, would dip it in my bucket and wipe off all of the bleach to neutralize it. Some people add vinegar to this mixture, but I didn't. I let it dry overnight, and then I went over it with a polycrylic. This is a crystal clear top coat that I also got in a matte finish. Some people prefer polyurethane, but I always work with polycrylic. In fact, I only added this to the surface where I would set things on because I like the weathered look so much. Let this dry for a couple of days, and then I decided to style this with items that I found from the Dollar General. I'm actually really glad I started off with this smaller piece because I had the perfect corner in my house to keep it. I'd actually been looking for something for there for quite a long time. I need you by my side. How this turned out. Leave me a comment down below. Do you have something in your house you'd like to try? Maybe an old oak piece? Let me know. I'm so grateful today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. It's an online learning community with thousands of classes so you can explore your creativity with fun projects just like in today's video. Learn and work at your own pace, and what's even more, all the classes are taught by experts. I joined Skillshare because I love uplifting my home on a budget. One of my favorite creators is Christopher Griffin, aka the Plant Queen. They have tons of classes for plants at home to uplift your space and your spirit. It's so fun and engaging, something that I'm looking to learn. Maybe you want to try a new hobby or a skill, you're going freelance, art, photography, or maybe you're making a career pivot. Whatever you are looking for, Skillshare probably has a class on it. And if you sign up using my link, you'll get 30% off your first year with Skillshare, which is 3 free months. Definitely don't miss out on it. I will be sure to leave the link in my description down below. My sweet friend, if nobody has told you today, you are enough. I'm grateful for you. Be sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and if you want to keep hanging out, you can click this video right here. I'll catch you guys soon.